Live from New York. It's the biggest show that we've done in 6 months.
That's
it's going to be excellent. It's first things first.
Correct.
Today.
Okay. Well,
that was great news. I woke up to that news this morning. I was taking my daughter her first day of school, waiting in line, and I see, news on Travis Kelce. And I see Jason's like he might play tomorrow. This is a great way to start the day. Go ahead, Wild. Sorry.
Wow. It was the first day of school, and then then I heard about this guy, Travis Kelce, our tight end.
Yeah, it was big news.
Can Chiefs beat the Lions without Kelce?
Of course. I mean, they're going to score 30 points. And by the way, I would like to use...
Who's catching all these touchdowns?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Kevin Wildes, because I did something... Yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of the show, and I might have done something for the first time in those 6 years. I had a factual error yesterday.
Oh my God.
I said confidently that Patrick Mahomes, the only game he's ever played without Travis, was the first game of his career, because Kelce's never missed a game due to injury. But I forgot, Kelce did miss one game in 2021 with COVID. Mahomes played in that game. It was against a playoff team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin coached defense. Tyreek Hill kept in check in that game. So how did Patrick Mahomes do? How did the Chiefs do? We could show it to you because the answer is exactly what you thought. Against a playoff team with no Travis Kelce, with Byron Pringle leading the way. Remember him? I do.
Yeah.
Just like I remember the AFC Championship game last year when Marcus Kemp, who came into that game as a 6-year veteran with 24 career tackles and 4 career catches, he had a more productive late fourth quarter than Jamar Chase did. You know why? Because Patrick Mahomes was throwing him the ball. And with Andy Reid designing the plays, Patrick throwing you the ball, and the Lions not being able to generate enough pressure because the Chiefs, the one place they have spent above market is the offensive line, they're going to hang 30-plus on Detroit. Now, week 1, 30-plus would be the low water mark of the Patrick Mahomes era. It would be disappointing. They've done 38, 40, 34, 33, and 44. Will they get to 44 like they did last year when people were worried? What are they going to look like without Tyreek Hill? Probably not. Will they get to 34? That would be my guess. 34? So they're going to be just fine. Just fine.
Hey, Brew, can I give you a trivia question?
Sure.
Lions opened up against the Eagles. Your defense not as good as the Eagles' defense. Guess what the score was? 35-38. Lions lost, but they scored 35. So 34.
Where was that game? My guess is it was in Detroit because that's where they scored all their points. That's where Goff was good. That's where the offense worked in a dome-controlled environment. I'm just telling you, that's where it all happened. But go ahead.
Well, look, you won't bet against the Chiefs as long as Patrick Mahomes is on the team. No, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Like, as long as Mahomes is playing, and as Nick said, Andy Reid is calling the plays, yeah, they have more than a shot. All right, they can definitely beat Detroit without Travis Kelce. However, this definitely gives Detroit a much better chance. There is no question about it. And look, Detroit is going. It's going to be a shootout. All right, they're not going to have Kansas City not going to have a pass rush without Chris Jones.
I don't know about that
because Detroit's got one of the best lines in the league. It's not just that Kansas City's pass rush is obviously diminished without Chris Jones, but they're facing one of the better offensive lines in the league. All right, and Detroit, I get it. The defense last year was bad. It was worse than the league in yardage given. It was bottom 5 in points allowed. But it got better
at the end of the year.
Got better. They only gave up 20 points a game in the last 10 weeks of the season. And Aiden Hutchinson had a great year, and I think he's going to be better. They added some things as well defensively.
Pick 'em.
Well, I might just. It's not time yet.
What do you mean it's not time yet?
I might pick
The audience can see right through
Pick
this.
them.
We're not picking
Somebody pick the Lions.
We're not picking the Lions.
When are we picking? We're doing our picks tomorrow, right? For this game? I might pick the Detroit Lions.
Side bet, I will bet you that he doesn't.
Are you saying the Lions have no shot?
Well, I'm saying this.
Is Travis Kelce, does he mean something?
Travis Kelce and Chris Jones matter immensely to the Chiefs' ability to win the Super Bowl. I am also saying when Vegas thought Chris Jones and Travis Kelce were playing in this game, the Chiefs were 6.5-point favorites. And right now, 28 hours before kickoff, when it looks like neither's going to be playing in the game, they are 5.5-point favorites. I am saying that while as we're going to discuss throughout the show, a lot of networks, ours included, everyone's official picks are coming in. And man, deja vu's hit me right in the face because people are finding reasons not to pick the Kansas City Chiefs, except for what? Wildes, I'll give you the data when we get there.
It's the huge majority of picks that I have seen are all Chiefs.
But
then you go through like,
no,
for this
found
game
one.
or for the Super Bowl?
Found one person that said Bengals.
No, for the Super Bowl is what I'm talking about. That's fine. Listen,
there are a lot of people not picking the Chiefs.
of course there is.
Including yours truly, and I'm not backing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's so
real talk.
But it's fine. Like Vegas gets it, and everyone in their heart of hearts knows. Week 1, where Mahomes averages 38 a game, where the Chiefs have won 7 in a row, dating back to the Alex Smith era, with Andy Reid with a full offseason to prepare against a bad defense in Arrowhead. I love Kelce is the greatest tight end in the history of football. They're going to be fine tomorrow without him. They are.
I agree.
Mahomes is that good.
Okay,
we all can't write him off. But I might surprise y'all tomorrow.
Well, okay.
You're not going to.
I might surprise you. You're testing me. You're testing me.
I don't want to be the anti-Chiefs guy. If you want to take that corner.
I'm not anti-Chiefs, but they're not going 20-0.
You're going to pick the Chiefs.
They're not going 20-0, and it might end tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
What new data are you going to get?
I'm thinking things over. Okay,
all right.
That's all I'm doing.
Chiefs, as we mentioned, are favored by 5.5. Mahomes.
I love him. I love him.
On the
And
side.
by the way, that was not a Chris Jones specific charity event. That was the Chiefs, what they read Friday, but it's Wednesday this week. The Chiefs team charity event, the Ronald McDonald House, and Chris Jones showed up. Now he also has a partnership with McDonald's, and he's a really good guy. But this is the weirdest holdout I've ever seen. He's
nice.
hanging out at the ESPYs. He's showing up saying I could play tomorrow and saying, listen, I just want to raise, guys. Like, what do you want from me? I just want to raise. And he said we didn't play it. He was like, I've been very clear. I want to retire a Chief. I want to be a Chief forever. It's the oddest holdout ever. But go ahead and you can ask
before
your
we
question.
get to this question that we had in the document, do you think he's going to be on the sideline just in street clothes?
No, he can't do that.
He can't be. Was he talking about being at the game, like in the box or something?
I think he was saying I might not be if I've signed, maybe I'll play, or maybe they'll keep me on the sideline, or maybe I'll just be on the sidelines.
If he's signed, I don't see him playing. I mean, it
looks pretty good. Looks in good shape.
He's in good shape for the average human being, but for an NFL game, I think it'd be too risky to put him out there. But yeah, if he's signed, I think he could be on the sidelines for sure.
It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest holdout I've ever seen.
All right, fast forward to Friday.
Yeah.
What would be a more significant story? The Chiefs win without Kelce and Chris Jones, who might or might not be there, or a Lions upset, Brew?
Wow. Look, I mean, Nick's acting like, look, and I don't mean that you obviously love Travis Kelce and think he's the best, but you are acting like, no Kelce, Kelce, it doesn't matter.
In this game, it does not matter.
Okay.
In this game, it does not matter.
If the Chiefs go out and hang close to 40 on Detroit, and Patrick Mahomes has 330-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, like they don't miss a beat without Kelce, that's a story. I mean, it's just interesting, like, wow. Like, it's just another notch on Mahomes' belt. But the bigger story to me is if Detroit wins. And I get that Kelce and Jones won't be there, and some people will hold that against the victory, but that would be huge. Because, Nick, I don't think Detroit's biggest obstacle is physical this year. I think it's mental. And I'm not saying they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying as far as winning that division and making the playoffs, they are fighting against their history. Even though it's different players, different coaches, a different front office, they haven't won a playoff game since 1991, and nobody will let them forget it. So on their roster, the offensive line is great. The quarterback's very good. The receivers are good. The running game is, they've added the Jamar Gibbs. People love him. David Montgomery. Yeah. Defensively, I think they've gotten a little better. Yeah. So if they go out and win this game, to me, it is like taking a jab at that mental barrier that they're fighting. Right. Because remember last year they had a chance to I don't think it would have locked them into the playoffs. But
weeks,
against Carolina, late week 16.
And they blew it.
And they blew it to freaking Carolina with Sam Darnold. Now, Carolina was better with Darnold at quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but still. All right, they still should have won that game. That was a mental weakness for them. So this would show mental strength.
I don't care about last year, though. I do care about the fact that the Lions are a trendy team. They're a Vegas favorite to make the playoffs. They're a trendy NFC Super Bowl pick. They have the 9th best Super Bowl odds. If the Kansas City Chiefs, without the best D tackle in football, without the best weapon in football, even that with a rookie wide receiver that they're going to have to lean on, a second-year wide receiver that they're going to have to lean on in Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, who didn't play all preseason because of the meniscus injury, if this Chiefs team rolls the Lions, it will put the league on notice in a way I would have thought they already were.
You think that's bigger than the Lions?
Yes, because again, for some, we have a hard time evidently remembering anything that happened more than 96 hours ago. And I foolishly thought that, in the Chiefs in a rebuilding year, when Mahomes gets hurt with a Super Bowl path that involves Burrowhead Stadium and then the damn near undefeated Eagles, if that ends up with them holding the trophy at the end, everyone will figuratively bend the knee. And then I go today to our website, Fox Sports. Our 15 NFL experts picked the Super Bowl. You know how many picked the Chiefs? 2.
Really?
Only 4 picked them to even make the game. 2. Sports Illustrated had their 10, Monday morning quarterback, whoever it was, their 10 guys. 5 of the 10 had the Chiefs winning 0 playoff games. The NFL.com, I don't know if they have any relevance. It's the website of the league, has 34 people who picked it. Now, the Chiefs had the most votes. They had 9. So 25 of the 34 it's going to be someone else's turn. The Bengals are the pick. The Bengals are the trendier pick, and ESPN hasn't posted theirs yet, but you better believe I have Google alerts up to find out where everyone is on it. And so I just want it Wildes.
But, Nick, you understand a lot of that's history. I mean, we haven't had a team repeat as champion.
We've never had a player as good as 15.
Years ago.
Yeah, we've never had a player that good. On our network, let's just see, because you're not, Greg didn't, Coach didn't, I don't think Cowherd is. I'm not sure about Skip and his new partners. Your Super Bowl pick was to irritate me, and I'm avoiding it. We'll see about Acho, Joy, and Shady. Okay. Let's just see. Let's just see.
Okay, so if I picked another team, I would be wrong. If I picked your team, it's to irritate.
You're in a bad spot.
Okay.
You're in a rough spot.
All right.
I don't think your heart's in it.
It is.
I don't think your heart's in it. All right, then you know what, Wildes? It's you and me.
Thank you.
It's you and me.
It's on you now.
Yeah.
All right, NFL
I'm not backing up.
Here's the problem. The problem with this is Super Bowl picks I don't actually care about because that doesn't impact it. MVP is voted on by the media. And the media just saying ahead of time, well, we know who the smart pick is, but it's boring, is a little irritating. But you know what you know how yesterday I had the aha moment that the 2023 Jets were the 2019 Clippers and the 21 Nets for Brew and for the whole world? Mm-hmm. I mean, I hate to do this because I believed in the Bengals before most of my colleagues in the media did last year, but it sure would feel like the Bengals are this year's Bills, where they lose to the Chiefs in heartbreaking fashion, and the next year everyone's like, you know what? Now's their time. They're going to have the MVP quarterback. They're going to win the Super Bowl. And last year I tried to caution against everyone with the Bills, and it feels like the same thing's happening with the Bengals because on those same lists that I went through, more popular than my Chiefs pick or your Eagles pick, Brew, was the Bengals. The Bengals and Joe Burrow, and that this is their moment.
Yeah, look, I picked Mahomes, obviously, like you did, to be the preseason MVP favorite. Burrow, it's not a bad pick. You know what I mean? I mean, if the Bengals have a great season in that division, which is tougher, we believe, than the AFC West, they're both really good, but it's tougher than the AFC West. I think, and the numbers are similar. Mahomes I would imagine, will be better, but if they're similar, then I think voter fatigue.
What's the argument that Burrow's a better candidate this year than Trevor?
Than Trevor Lawrence?
They both have the same number of Pro Bowls. They both last year got MVP votes. They both won their division.
Mac Jones has the same number of Pro Bowls, too.
But Burrow's had more success than Trevor.
No, of course. Burrow's had 2 good seasons. Trevor's had 1. But I'm saying this year, this moment.
Leading team.
Trevor had half a
Super
good
Bowl,
season.
too.
Half a good season.
Okay, that's not how it works. At the end of
Why not?
because you go to someone's football reference page or whatever it is, you say good season, bad season. That's how you do it. How many
But
half
Trevor's
seasons did
one
Mickey
good
Mantle have?
season,
How
one
many
bad
good
season.
seasons? That's not how it
He's
works.
one
Lions,
bad,
here's the
one good.
Lions.
So this one we'll
All
see
this
what
red
it
is bad, and then all this green is wins. Half a good season.
So last year, was it a good or a bad season for the Lions?
Half of it was great.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.